Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Bessette here at the Firm U, here with another progress update video of a couple that I train. Been training them for quite a while now, but in the last 4 months, we turned things up right before summer, and I'd like to share their progress with you. And of course, they've agreed to allow me to do so, except a little camera shy. So it's just gonna be me explaining their stats right here. Anyway, so it's Niki and Jason, or Jason and Niki. And after 4 months, we really turned things up back in what was it, May. And they were getting ready for the summer. That was one of their goals. And I was getting ready to do a physique contest on the national level. And they kind of wanted to follow suit, or just kind of, not do exactly what I was doing for training, but along the same principles. And so they did so. And we have some remarkable progress. Anyway, so let's get right into it here. All right, about me, I'm very highly credentialed as far as certifications in education. I've been in business for about 20 years now. And as a professional personal trainer, master personal trainer, I have 4 national certifications, ACSM, gotta have to read them off, ACE, NASM, and NSCA. All very highly creditable certifications. Also, I lift weights, been lifting weights for, over 50 years now. That would put me around 65 years old. Wow. Anyway, so, when you're looking for a personal trainer, those are some of the things you want to take in consideration about their experience, their credentials, at least if they can pass a test. Okay. Anyway, so moving right along, I have a little disclaimer here saying, I'm not going to, I talk about mostly of my experiences in all my videos, and I'm not giving medical advice or anything like that. I'm just telling you what works for me and what works for my clients. And you're going to see in this video that this is all true measurements that are digitally done, and you're going to see the results in real time here. It's pretty impressive. So I don't mind sharing this kind of information. All right, so moving right along. So it all starts off with a free consultation. And what I do is I sit down with my potential clients and talk to them about what their goals are. I let them talk. I want to hear what they have to say, not what I have to say. It doesn't matter what my goals are, it's what your goals are. So, and sometimes I'll look at somebody and I'm saying, okay, lose fat, gain muscle, or maintain muscle, and their body fat is, well over 40%. And their goals are to run a marathon. Good for you. That's fine. That's your goal. We'll approach it that way. So there's no, I've heard every goal there is, and I can get you there, whatever your goals are. Anyway, so we talk about that at this consultation and at this consultation, we talk about price, and my prices are not the same. You're not the same. Every client I have is not the same. My schedule is not the same for everybody, obviously. So if you're going to have a sweet hour of working out, like 7 a.m. or 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, those are my higher dollar, could be potentially higher dollar slots, and it depends on you too. I mean, I want somebody I can work with. I want somebody that's going to be here. Okay, I'm going to motivate the heck out of you, but I still can't drive you here. Okay, at least not yet. Anyway, so we had this discussion. It takes about an hour. It's all free. I get you on the Bio-Impedance Scale, give you some of your measurements, and give you an idea of how long it's going to take you to get to your goals. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, so anyway, so one of my main services is the personal training. That's when we break down the muscle and build it back up. Now, I don't take people on their first date with me, or I should say the first session with me. I don't take them in here and try to break them down and yell in your face and make you turn over tires and run through cones. No, it's not like that. It's much more, my methodology is more of let's let's hit a muscle group, have your muscles get stimulated, and as they get stimulated and as you rest, you burn more calories at rest than you do when you're working out. You know, the purpose of exercise is not just burning as many calories as you can in a session. That's crazy. If you only work out 3 hours a week, that's only three hours out of 168 hours in a week. You're only burning you're only working out for 3 hours. It just doesn't make sense. We're burning more calories throughout the 168 hours in a week than we are in that one single session, or 3 times a week. Most people 3 times a week. Now, Niki and Jason opt to go 5 days a week, or have the option or that slot time to go 5 times a week. I only recommend anywhere from 2 to 3. Okay, 3 is the sweet spot where most people get their results from. But you know, that's totally up to you. And the more sessions, of course, and the more that you're going to commit to me, you know, the sweeter the prices get. Okay. So anyways, it starts off like this. And what's neat about this, as you can see here, is that, you know, I have a private facility. So there's nobody else working on this equipment. We don't have to worry about somebody sitting on their cell phone and taking up 20 minutes on a single piece of equipment, or, you know, looking in the mirror, taking snapshots of their butt. Okay, so it goes pretty quick. And as you can see in this display or this picture, that I'm spotting one person while the other one's doing another muscle group. So at the same time, I mean, I can efficiently train 2 people at the same time without slowing down. In other words, it's not like I go over here and then you wait over here while that person finishes the set. No, we're going simultaneously all the time. So I'll keep you moving. So that's going to build up your endurance as well as your strength. And again, it depends on what your fitness goals are. But I'm going to work on your cardiovascular system. I'm going to work on your respiratory system, your muscular system. Okay, and this is all going to, as you'll see, affect your blood work, any prescriptions that you're on, things like that. Those are, you know, it's not just the scale that needs to move, or inches, or your clothes fitting better. Those are great. That's just a side effect of losing weight or whatever your goals are. But you know, going to the doctor's office and seeing that your labs are starting to look really good, and your doctor's, you know, patting you on the back, you know, that's another win situation there too. So anyway, so again, as you can see, it's very very private, very specific, and we get the job done pretty fast and efficiently. Okay, so and again, you know, I have a 2-for-1 deal. So when you come in and you have a partner, now it could be a wife, it could be a husband, it could be, you know, the neighbor, co-worker. I give a 2-for-1 package. And the reason why I do that, again, it's a private facility. I can train somebody just as efficiently one person as I can 2 people. Now, I have a professional football player and a 5'1", 110-pound wife. Okay, and I can train both of them at the same time. So if I can do that mismatch, I'm pretty darn good at keeping everybody busy in the session. Okay, so let's move on. And by the way, I have a website. You can just stop the video and write down the website there, and go ahead and contact me, and we'll set up a schedule an appointment. And during that appointment, we'll talk about your goals, and then talk about scheduling, price, and things like that. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so the services, personal training, the meal and nutrition comes with the personal training. So if you that's all part of it. Okay, normally what I do as far as diet and nutrition, what I did with Niki and Jason is I had them take a picture, a snapshot of what they were going to eat before they ate it, so I'd have an idea what they look, what was going in. It's hard for me to help the outside if I don't know what's going on the inside. Okay, so that helped. I made minor adjustments. You know, if you're having a baked potato the size of your foot loaded with, you know, all kinds of cheese and sour cream, I'm going to say that might not be a good idea. Let's try another alternative, something that you can live with. And so that's what I do, is just, it's almost like let's make a deal on a meal. Okay, so I kind of I'll say, okay, can you work with this instead of that big baked potato? Can you go with asparagus or broccoli or something to replace those carbohydrates, because they're just going to sit in your gut, and all those carbohydrates are really sugar. Sugar and carbohydrates, the same thing, and that's the only thing that really turns to fat. Anyway, so we negotiated, and it is a negotiation, and I call it a diet development, because you develop the diet as you go. You know, I don't just flick a switch and say, okay, here's your meals. This is what I need you to eat to get to where you need to be. I don't do it like that. And I don't scold anybody for making, you know, for going out and kind of blowing their diet. No, I said, okay, I just remind you what your goals were. I mean, that enough is, you know, makes you rethink things. The other thing I have is a laser lipo. It's called a Strawberry Laser Lipo. And it's also an alternative to a training session. So if you come in, and I have some people dragging their butts to come in, and I said, okay, why don't we just use this session as a laser session? It's about the same price. And they just go down and lay on a treatment table. I put the lasers on you, and for 40 minutes, it emulsifies the fat, breaks it down, kind of does the same thing that weight training does, except you get to just basically lay there and let the lasers do the work. I also do a standalone service where I have some people that just don't want to work out, they just want to get on the laser, and that's fine too. And they just come in, and I have great results that way too. But when you start combining the personal training, the laser, the diet, okay, there's three of my services. Okay, then things, you got much more going your way as far as getting to your goals. Hormone therapy, I do blood tests for hormones. Now, I've done blood tests by themselves because it's very comprehensive. It's a lot cheaper than through me, and more comprehensive through me than it is through your doctor, because they have to deal with the insurance companies. I'm cash based. Okay, I don't have to deal with any of the, is this covered, is that covered? You know, I do a C-reactive protein, which is a marker for inflammation. How important is inflammation? Well, inflammation is the start of every disease. Inflammation is number one. You know, look at A1C, we look at that, a lot of doctors do that, but they can only do it once a year. Your insurance will, normal insurance will only cover it once a year. You know, I also look at insulin levels. How important is insulin? Very important. Ever hear of insulin resistant? Most people out there watching this video are saying, am I insulin resistant? Am I pre-diabetic? Am I diabetic? Well, we can sum that all up. We can also use that blood test as another source of progress. And we can look at, 3 months ago, and then we can look at 3 months, what it looks like now. But I have my own doctor that comes in and prescribes bioidentical hormones, and or Niki and Jason chose to do the blood test, and they went to their own physician for their medications. And that covers the blood test. And then the 3D scanner is another measurement I use, so you can see yourself before and after, and I can transpose your body, 3 or 4 months ago on top of 3 or more present. So you can look at yourself and say, oh my God, that was me before, this is me now. Or I can go side by side, and we'll see that here as we move down the slideshow here. Also, Niki and Jason, we did the Bio-Impedance Scale. So that's a scale that they stand on, and it measures your water and it sends a signal through your feet, goes up through your feet, through your body, and back down. And the more water you have, the faster the signal goes, because water is a conductor. So, and incidentally, muscle is about 86% water. So the more muscle you have, the faster it goes, and fat's going to slow it down. So that's going to show what your fat percentage is. And I use that as another gauge for your progress. One of the reasons why I like to do a lot of these measurements on progress updates is because it works. And I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just saying, hey, look what this is for real. This is what they look like before. This is what they look like now. So they took advantage of the personal training, the nutrition coaching, meal planning, things like that, and also the laser. Okay, and you'll see the results here in just a few minutes. Okay, so this is just an example of some of the food. This is a salad with a tuna steak, yellowfin. And so again, I just had them snap a picture of what they're going to eat, and you get a thumbs up right away. That's good. If you get something that says, let's talk next session, then that means we're going to make some adjustments. And again, it's not earth-shattering adjustments. It's something that's sustainable to you and something you can live with. All right, moving right along. Also, I also coach on supplements too. And that a lot comes from the blood tests. I mean, if you're low in vitamin D, obviously, I'm going to say, if it was my blood test, this is what I would do. I would take 5,000 IUD, international units a day. Okay, IUs a day. That's what I would do. Okay, I'm not saying that this is what you should do. I'm just saying what I would do. But check with your doctor, of course, and things like that. But the EFAs, essential fatty acids, is something that I really promote. And the reason why I do that is because it's the omega-3s and omegas, unadulterated omega-6 and omega-3 are missing from our food today. We have cows and even plants. Now, you vegans aren't out in the clear either, because you're eating genetically modified organisms, and unless it's grown in your backyard or on a farm and you saw it grow from seed to crop, do you believe it? I don't know. I know that this stuff works, and it's plant-based, unadulterated omega-3 and omega-6. Now, I have congestive heart failure. Now, I'm not out of breath at all, ever, and I attribute a lot of the reason why I'm in such good condition, and also I don't have any side effects from congestive heart failure. I never knew I had it until a doctor told me when I was getting an operation on my hip replacements, that I had congestive heart failure. And I said, well, I've never had any of these symptoms. And I attribute a lot of it because having the omega-3s in your blood system is going to attract oxygen into the cell membrane. And so I don't really have any oxygen issues. In congestive heart failure, my ejection fraction is very low. I'm only pumping out 20 to 25% in my left ventricles, the rest of my body. So I must have some clear pathways, meaning my blood vessels. And I attribute that partly to these guys right here. Also, it's helps you sleep better. I say sleep better, sleep deeper. So our bodies repair themselves mostly when we sleep. So if you're dreaming, I dream all the time on this stuff right here, on the X10 Life. And the reason why I call it X10 Life, because it actually does, and that is a picture of me right there, yeah. Talk about endorsements. So yeah, it makes you sleep deeper. So if I'm dreaming, I know that I'm in REM sleep, rapid eye movement. So I know that my body's going to repair itself. So it helps repair muscles a lot faster. Okay, and you can go ahead and stop this video and read about what else it does. All right, moving along. Yes, the laser lipo looks like this. You can see the lights are all lit up right here. It's nice and warm. We can do your middle section, hips, butt, legs. We can do pectorals for men. The man boob thing. This is my lovely spouse here. She loves this thing. And by the way, sometimes I come back and I have people falling asleep. It's a 10-minute treatment on a particular body part. So let's just say you do your hips, your legs, and your stomach. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and 10 minutes. Then I get you on the scanner and we can see the before and after results. And you'll see this here later on in the slideshow on the results that Niki and Jason had. Okay. And again, I do this standalone too. If somebody just wants to do the Strawberry Laser Lipo, you can just come on up, sign. I do 8 sessions at a time, and I'll just take off 10% if you mention this video. How's that? Okay. moving right along. And this is what my blood panel looks like. And, you know, if you want to stop the video again and take a picture of this, it's a very comprehensive lab. Again, I mentioned the C-reactive protein, where doctors will not do unless they have a symptom. And most insurance companies won't cover unless you have a good reason. But I have detected a lot of diseases. I had one lady that had 4 stents put in because the C-reactive protein, or the marker for inflammation, was through the roof. I just gave her back the results. I didn't diagnose anything. I didn't have to. I just said, you might want to take this to your doctor and see what he or she says about this. And then they scheduled a cardiologist's appointment the next day, did an echocardiogram. They did a angiogram, and they put in 2 stents right then on that day, and then 2 stents 2 days or 2 weeks down the road. So literally could have saved her life, or did. And not to mention, she was drinking 2 6-packs of soda a day, plus 2 packs of cigarettes, I think it was. At least 1 anyway. Okay, so yeah, in the, what else is in, well, they're all important. And also look at your free testosterone and your total testosterone. Free testosterone means it's bioavailable. You can have high testosterone levels, but if it's not being made available, you're not using it all. And I've had cases like this too, where somebody had a high testosterone level, but their bioavailability, or free testosterone, was very low. Okay, so we had to adjust that. All right, moving right along. By the way, all this is on my the firmu.com website if you want to check this out. All right, so the 2 methods I use, other than visual or checking your, or asking you how your clothes are fitting, is a 3D scanner. Sit on this rotating, or you stand on this rotating platform. It also is a scale. Rotates you around 360 degrees, takes about 30 seconds. This tower over here does shoots out bits of information and makes a 3D avatar of you, and we'll see that in a moment with Niki and Jason. And so that's one measurement, and it actually measures your inches that you lose, okay, or gain, depends on what your goals are. The Bio-Impedance Scale is a scale right here, as you can see, that you stand on, and it gives, sends a signal up to your feet, comes back down, and gives us a printout, and we'll show you that here in a moment. And if you want to see more of the 3D scanner, it's on my website. Okay, so this is what the printout looks like. Now I put one side here. This is Niki on 6/10, and this is her 9/4 of this year. So we went from June to September, almost to the day, and that's what, June. Well, that's less than 4 months then. We got July, August, September, 3 months. Okay. Anyway, so in this short period of time, her beginning weight, you can see it up here, the numbers are up here, I just broke it down. Her weight was 144, she's down to 127. So she lost 16.6 pounds. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. When somebody says they lose, 16, 20 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever it is, first thing I ask, was it water? Was it fat? Or was it muscle? Because it had to be one of those 3. That's what our bodies are made of. So here you can see I have what her body fat percentage was. It was at 31.5%, down to 17.7%. Wow. So that means not only did she lose fat, but she also maintained or gained muscle in the process. Well, let's take a look at her fat weight, because that's what I want to know. I don't want to know how much weight you lost. I want to know how much fat weight you lost and how much muscle you lost or maintained and hopefully gained, because you can do both at the same time. All right. So she was at 45.4 pounds of fat, this stuff right here. So that's like about 8 of these. And now she's at 22.6, which is about 4 of these right here. Okay, so she lost quite a bit of fat weight, 22.8 pounds of fat. Okay, now on her fat-free mass, which is muscle, okay, she actually went up in muscle. She started at 98.6. Now she's at 104.8. And she is only 5'5". Okay, so that's pretty good. Now she doesn't walk around like the Incredible Hulk at all. You know, she just looks firm. And that was their goal to begin with anyway. They were trying to do any kind of a contest or walk down the beach, you know, with their chest up high and proud, even though they probably do that. I know I try to. But anyway, so that was their goal, and as you can see, we accomplished it. Now this is one measurement on the scale. Sometimes the scale doesn't show that you're losing that much weight. 16.6 pounds is quite a bit. Okay, so sometimes you might even lose 5 or 6 pounds. And I've had women, especially women, do that, get on the 3D scanner, and then you look at the inch loss, and it's like, oh my gosh, look how much you lost. No wonder your clothes are fitting better. So this just validates your hard work and why your clothes are fitting differently. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so let's move down the road here. So this is, that was Niki, this is Jason. Now, this was only, what, August, September, so this is only 2 months. From July 2nd to September 4th. This is just the other day. And he weighed in July at 204, and now he's at 198. So he lost 6.2 pounds. All right. His body fat was at 15.6%, and this all says up here. All this coordinates down here. I just summed it up. And now he's down to 13.5% body fat. So he went down 2% body fat. That's pretty darn good. Now Niki is through the roof. I mean, that's just, you know, most of the time I have guys that really show higher progress or more progress, but this time the ladies came out ahead. His fat mass went from 32 pounds down to 26 pounds, and his total fat loss, actual fat, was 5 pounds. Now, incidentally, this is actually 5 pounds of fat. This is what, of course, it's marbled throughout his body. This is what he's not carting around with him anymore. Okay, so it's pretty, when you start looking at it that way, you know, losing 5 pounds, do you really lose 5 pounds of fat when you say you lost 5 pounds? I don't think so. But you can always get a very a good bioimpedance scale like this one that charts your progress, and then combine it with the 3D scanner, that just, again, validates your hard work and your progress. So let's move down the line. Speaking of which, look at this. Now, this goes back to May 8th. This is where the 4-month came about. And this gives the total inches of the 6 locations here, the 6 circumferences. So that came up to 205 total circumferences here. Now, if you look at down on September 5th, just the other day, now she's down to 189.1 inches around those 6 circumferences. So you can actually visually just look at the before and the after. This is in May 8th. This is September 5th. You don't even need the measurements to see it. You can visually see it like that. No scale does it that well. When you can see it like this, how much of a motivating factor is that? Well, evidently it's working pretty well. So the total circumferences that she lost around her waist was 16.7 total inches. All right, let's just keep going here. Oh, get my cursor going. All right. Now this is around her hips. Now this one was pretty impressive here. This is a total 21 inches around these 6 locations here. She went from 284.3 down to 262 total inches around here. So if you take, I don't know, 38, 42, and times that by 6, you come up with these numbers, and that's here. Now I can do one single circumference, and you'll see that in a moment here. But I like to do groups so you can actually see the whole group. And again, just looking at her direct on, you can see the difference between before and after. And again, this was May 8th of this year, 2024, and then September, 4 months later. or approximately 4 months later. Why do I keep doing that? All right, here we go. So I can also transpose one line or one circumference. This is just one of those 6 circumferences around her hips. And you can see when you look at it this way, and we cut her in half, and you can see in the red is representing May 8th, and in the green, it's September 5th. You can fit her new body inside of her old body. And again, I mean, that's 3.4 inches around her waist. That means if she's not wearing suspenders or a new belt or new clothes, you know, her pants are not going to fit very well. Anyway, so that's just one circumference. And she went from 42 around her hips down to 37. Okay. Also, with the laser and the diet exercise, we can also do legs or measure legs too. And you can see I have a lot of women, particularly women, that want to lose fat in their legs. And her leg, she went down quite a bit. And you can see the difference of the circumferences here. Now this is 8 circumferences here and there. But you can just look at the legs just right here at a visual, and you can just go ahead and stop the video and take a look at the measurements here. It's pretty impressive. Now I took all the measurements off of her and just looked at an avatar or a clay figure of her, and you can see her from the side in the beginning and after 4 months. Okay, and from the back side. What do you think, ladies, huh? This could be you. 4 months, that's it. And she didn't have to change her life, you know, to the extent where she was, you know, hating it. Okay, so. All right, so this is Jason. And again, another success story here. He lost quite a bit, around total 7 inches in 6 circumferences. So a little over an inch in each one of these locations. How do you think he feels now? And this was only from July to September. And he lost 7.7 inches in that period of time. And he had lost quite a bit prior to that coming to this. This is just the scan that we did on that one day. Because I was looking at him, I said, Jason, let's get you on that scanner. I think you've even lost more. And he pulls his shorts out around the waist, and I went, oh my God, yeah. Let's go ahead and validate those inches that you lost, and forget about the scale. Let's just look at the inch loss. And so we also did a circumference around here. So this is the old him in the red on July 2nd, and then the new him in September is the green. And again, instead of looking at the notches in your belt, you can just look right here of the transpose or cut in half of one circumference. This is just one circumference right here. Okay. All right, so how do you get a hold of me to get these kind of results? Really easy. firmu.com, all right, /contact, and fill this out, send it to me. It's real quick and easy. I'll get right back to you. We'll set up an appointment for about an hour consultation, and we'll go over your goals. And if nothing else, you know, there's no obligation or anything like that. I have a lot of people just come in for the information. They get on the 3D scanner, they get on the Bio-Impedance Scale, and they walk out with information. And I'll welcome them back in a month or so to go ahead and I'll do it again and see what your progress is. Now, if you're not seeing any progress, maybe you ought to rethink, you know, coming to me. And if you do, you know, good for you. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Keep it up. Okay? Yes, I'm that kind of guy. All right. Also, I have a very active YouTube channel. If you're watching this video, you can see I have 10,000 subscribers. So for some reason, there's a lot of people, you know, watching these videos. And also, you know, subscribe if you like this one and see other ones like this. Now, I don't just do videos that are progress reports like this one or updates. I also do nutrition videos. It could be about hormones, could be about supplements, could be about training, muscle groups, or the correct way to do exercises and things like that, instructional videos. But most of them are updates on my clients and what their progress and success stories are. Okay, so again, it's Ray Bessette. If you just type in Ray Bessette on YouTube, I come right up. But Ray Bessette 530 right here. Okay, and okay, just remember and keep in mind, you know, Jason and Niki, you know, when they came in here, it was like, okay, well, you know, let's, you know, try to get in shape, do the best we can. And I said, well, if there's a will, there's a Ray. And so I kind of went with that little slogan there. And so if you have the will, I'm the Ray. So contact me. And if you like this video, like I mentioned before, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up or do both. Okay, we'll see you till next video. And again, if there's a will,